Hello, this is Chris Hicks. Today, on Wednesday, June 28th, I attended the Clermont County Commissioners meeting at 101 East Main Street in Batavia. And at a time for citizen participation, I read the following statement with a specific call to action for our county commissioners, especially for David Ubel, who is behind the backdoor plan to increase the hotel tax to subsidize FC Cincinnati and put the county in debt to buy land for FC Cincinnati's purposes, but also the other two commissioners that I know were aware of this for some time and did not allow or take action to let the citizens know what was going on, allowed the secrecy to persist. So here is the statement that I read. My name is Chris Hicks. I live at 444 Woodward Court, Cincinnati, Ohio 45255, which is in Union Township, Clermont County. For some time now, Commissioner Ubel, with at least an awareness of the other commissioners, has been involved in a secretive scheme to have our county join the ranks of counties like Hamilton, who subsidize professional sports teams. His plan, which is still secret, I believe, involves issuing debt through the Port Authority for land in Batavia Village, made possible in part by raising the hotel tax across the county, which impacts Miami and Union Townships, where most of the hotels are located. In a June 9 email to me, Mr. Ubel confirmed the plan involves a sports team with a $5 million payroll. That team is FC Cincinnati. Mr. Ubel defended the deal as having been approved by the hoteliers 6 to 8 months ago, which means the plan, and that it would be hidden, was known before last November's elections. Ubel's claim of hotelier support was also interesting because, in writing in that same note, he said this of a hotelier who opposed the plan, quote, "I will likely report him to his management if the 1% doesn't go through, and he will be fired." This seems an incredible abuse of power and calls into question the use of threats and coercion to achieve hotelier support. But I have actually seen nothing to even substantiate that claim. The clandestine plan may be a great plan, who knows? It has been hidden from the public and hidden from all the elected officials in Miami and Union Township. I am disturbed by two things in particular. First, Mr. Ubel is head of the Republican Party, the head commissioner, and on the CVB board. This is too much power in one man and has already been used in corrupting ways. The threat to a hotel employee is one example. A more disturbing example is that last week Mr. Ubel tried to use his authority as head of the party to target me. He called an emergency Clermont County Republican Central Committee executive meeting to, quote, address a newly appointed committee member, me. And in a separate note, he described me to Rick Grant, the party executive for Wayne Township, as follows, quote, I believe that Chris Hicks' goals are insincere and nefarious. It fizzled. But what was a clear abuse of power to target me for exposing and opposing his secret plan. Additionally, Mr. Ubel creates an illusion that his role on the CVB is mandated in some way. Last week he said in the same email to Rick Grant, quote, as commissioner, I am in the 9-member board of the CVB as per the Ohio Revised Code. The Ohio Revised Code does not require a commissioner to be on the CVB board, and in fact, no other county in our region has a commissioner on their CVB board. It allows for backdoor deals not visible to the public, like this FC Cincinnati plan. The appearance and actual actions of Mr. Ubel are not in keeping with the public interest. I call for immediate change. Second, moving our county to the ranks of those who subsidize pro sports, FC Cincinnati in this case, is a major strategic decision. It should be being discussed in the clear light. Mr. Ubel is at the center of the secrecy, but I believe all commissioners were aware of this deal and allowed it not to be discussed in public, and for it not to be shared with elected officials in the townships impacted. In that sense, you are all responsible. It is wrong that there was no public visibility or engagement of elected officials. It is outright bizarre that Mr. Ubel, and maybe this whole commission, does not seem to have a single relationship with any elected official in the two biggest townships in the county to have even quietly sought the advice and counsel of one single elected or appointed official in either of the two biggest townships in the county. Not one. As a Union Township resident, that scares the heck out of me. It is not what I expect of my leaders, in concept, all united in the same party. On June 13th, Mr. Ubel offered the following in writing. If any of you copied on this email would like to sit down and discuss this further, I'm available. Even to this day, he has refused all meetings, including with me and with Matt Beamer, Union Township trustee. I mention Matt only because Mr. Ubel acknowledged his request in writing, but will not actually meet. Most of us are simply ignored. As you all know, last week Miami Township trustees and Union Township trustees went on the record as unanimously opposing this deal and how we got here. The state rep for the impacted area, John Becker, opposes this deal and has offered to reintroduce the tax increase clean if it were pulled from the budget now, after Miami and Union Township later approved the plan. Representative Green, who has pushed this but does not represent the impacted areas, and Senator Eaker refused to stand with the people. We will see how that plays out in an environment where Drain the Swamp is chanted by millions. The tax, though, will eventually come before this body. On the current course, I fear a well so poisoned that it will become an impossible political choice. A vote for the tax may well amount to an endorsement of backroom lobbyist-driven deals, making major strategic shifts for the county without the input of the people or their elected officials. It is a bad course. So what do I ask? I would like one of you to make a motion that Clermont County send a letter to the governor forthwith, asking that if this tax should survive in the past budget, that it be line item vetoed. Then vote as transparent leaders on the record, up or down, right now, today. Let the public see clearly where you stand, not just on the tax, but on the horrific and divisive process that has led us here. Mr. Ubel, you make the motion to show you are against backroom deals kept secret from the public and our elected officials. Mr. Painter or Mr. Humphrey, you make the motion to show you are not willing accomplices in this series of events. Frankly, let it get then voted down if it must, but be on the record for the people. One of you make the motion, be on the record. If none of you will, or none of you will second, it becomes clear you are all complicit in the series of events. Make the motion, be on the record, stand for the people, not the swamp. I thank you for the opportunity to get what I have said on the public record. So that's the statement that I read. The commissioners did not respond until many minutes later in the meeting. Commissioner Humphrey, when I think Commissioner Ubel was asking for a motion to go to executive session, might have thought Commissioner Ubel was asking if anybody was going to make my motion. But Commissioner Humphrey specifically spoke out that he would not make the motion, and then he cited some specific reasons, including that he felt that I was ineligible to have a meeting with Mr. Ubel based on who was copied on certain emails. It was one of the points. There might have been others. He can defend himself, or we can try to watch it on the Clermont County video. I am recording this now because as of this moment, the meeting is not online. I was told that after a commissioner meeting, the meetings take place at 10 o'clock, that by 1 o'clock the meetings would be online. As of now, almost 3 o'clock, the meeting is not online, and the video where it looks like it should be shows as having been deleted. In the minutes from the meeting, there was a reference to what Mr. Humphrey said, and I will read it directly from the minutes. Let the record show Commissioner Humphrey stated he would not present a motion for consideration in and as it relates to Mr. Chris Hicks' comments, inasmuch as the issue is yet to be presented to the board for consideration thereof and additional response to. Comments relative to communication or the lack thereof is indicated Mr. Hicks in his comments to the board. Now, I'm just going to leave it at that, but here's the point. It sounds like even the commissioners are saying they were not up to speed on this and they were left out of the loop. We have Miami Township unanimously on record as being against this deal and that they were left out of the loop. We have Union Township unanimously against this deal and that they were left out of the loop. I know that Batavia Township found out about the deal. They have a hotel in the Enquirer. And who knows what other townships know or don't know. Clearly the commissioners don't know. To have then the excuse be that we'll go ahead and have a secret tax that we don't know what it's for or what the plan is, because since we don't know what the plan is, we should let it go, is contrary to conservative and Republican values that these men purport to have. This tax should be pulled, the governor should veto it, but now we have clearly the 3 county commissioners, not one of them had the courage to put their counterparts on the record, as having been in support of this secret plan and the process that got us here. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. You can always feel free to contact me. I'm very easy to contact. Chris Hicks, my office line is 513-201-7902. Again, 513-201-7902. My mobile is 513-289-4341.